Hello and welcome to our iPad and iPhone for Beginners 2 class. This is week 6, our last week, which we'll be talking about FaceTime. My name is Holly Berry, as many of you know, and for those of you who don't know me, welcome. While we're not physically in the classroom together, there are some rules I'd like to go over. Rules is a little harsh, but it's just some reminders. So 1, know that you can pause this video at any time. 2, have your iPhone, iPad ready to follow along so you can join me, and as well as having your Apple ID sign in info. So this is your unique email, password, whatever it is that you set up that you can log into Apple with. 3, take your time. You can rewind or rewatch anything you want in this video. The good part is it is recorded. And 4, feel free to write down any questions you have as you go through this video. There is a handy dandy notes section in the back of your workbook, so that way you can keep track of all your questions you might have. And last but not least, 5, remember to have fun and be curious. Technology, it can be a little intimidating, but don't worry, we have this. We got this together. If you've been on this whole journey, you have noticed that we've gone through all of this information, and we are currently on week 6, the last week, talking about FaceTime. So know that this is also the last class, which means there is a review at the end. I'll get to that a little bit more at the end. But first, what is FaceTime? I like to think of it as Apple's version of Zoom. This app, not appetizer, but this application comes pre-installed in all Mac devices. So whether you have your iPhone, your iPad, even your MacBook, it has it already on there. And you can tell because it has this handy dandy icon. So we're going to get real familiar with this icon, which looks like a video camera. But what you can do with this app, similar to Zoom, is you can have video calls with your loved ones, friends, whoever you may be calling, whether you're using Wi-Fi or mobile data. So this means even if you don't have cellular connection, as long as you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you can call other iPhone devices such as an iPad to another iPad and they don't actually pay for the mobile data. It's okay. You're on Wi-Fi, you've got Apple, you guys can talk to each other. Just a quick little disclaimer. So if your screen does not look exactly like mine, it is okay. This may be dependent on the operating system your phone has, whether or not you've been updating it, keeping updated, or maybe you're like, I'm holding off on updates. So I know one of the classes that we did last time, a lot of us were on iOS 18, where some of us are on the newer version, iOS 26. There's so many different versions, so bear with me if it doesn't look the same. I promise you, you guys still have the same icons, they just might be in different places, slightly different. It's okay. So, the first thing I want to start with is making sure your FaceTime is enabled, making sure it is set up. So, first things first, I'm going to have you unlock your phone. So, meaning entering your password, swiping up, just so you can see your home page with all of your different icons. We're going to go to our settings first. So, this is going to look like that gear icon right down here that I have listed. So, this might be already on your home page, so you can just go bloop and click. If not, I like to use my handy dandy search feature by taking my finger, placing it on the middle of my phone, and swiping down until I see the spotlight search. That way I can type in settings and it'll pop up to me. And so I'll click on the one that looks like the gear icon, and that will take me to the settings. Once we're in settings, you're going to scroll all the way down, either until you get to apps so that we can start heading into the FaceTime, or again, you can do your search to find FaceTime to start typing it in. But either way, we're going into the settings for FaceTime. And as you can see, You'll scroll down, you'll start to notice all the different things that we can work on and do. But for now, we're going to be focusing on making sure that our switch next to FaceTime is turned on. And just to show you what that looks like on this page, clicking here, making sure that this green switch is on. This means you have enabled your FaceTime. And for those of you still trying to find FaceTime, this is my quick and easy way over here where I show you if you scroll, you can either scroll or you can go up here in settings and start typing in FaceTime to get to the FaceTime settings. So once you make sure that this is on, we can then get to the next part. So again, in that same spot, this will walk you through it one more time. This is an older iOS, so it used to list all the apps right there. Going there, we made sure that FaceTime is turned on. Right here, you can notice a bunch of different contact info. So this one says can be reached by FaceTime at, and then also your caller ID. I'll get into a still shot in the next one. So the top one where you can be read at, this is all the different ways people can contact you, whether it's a phone number, your email, whatever it is. A blue check mark means that that is turned on, meaning people can contact you there. If you don't want them to contact you, you will click on that blue check mark until it goes away. So for instance, caller ID, this is when you call what shows up. You can only have one of those selected, so you can practice turning on and off the check marks. For instance, you could click email if you want that as a caller ID, and then this check mark will come off. So you can either pause right here and check out all your settings, make sure that's okay, or I'll just go back really quickly to talk about you might have never set up FaceTime. So you might have had a pop-up come out where it's like, oh no, you might have to enter your Apple ID information. So again, this is where I talked about in the beginning, making sure you know what that is. If you don't, it's okay. You can always come back to this video when you do know it. You just kind of have to set it up for that. So I think in this section, yes, right here. So you might have that pop up says, use your Apple ID for FaceTime. Yes, you're going to enter your Apple ID information in to log in. Unfortunately, I don't have a live example because I have enabled it on all of my devices. So I think it's just a one-time thing. If you've updated your iOS, you know those pop-ups of yes, yes, agree, continue. Same thing. So take a few minutes right now to just make sure enabled. So making sure that this green slider shows green. If it's not green, you can click on it so it does turn green, or you can just click on it to turn it off and on to see what that looks like. You're going to make sure that one of these at least is enabled, so how people are going to contact you. For most people, it's going to be their phone number. And same thing with the caller ID. If you have more than just your phone number and email enabled for where people can reach you, it doesn't matter. It just means that, okay, maybe someone only knows your email or maybe they only know your phone number. They can reach you and video chat with you that way. So if you need to, again, pause, make sure you guys are all on the same page, everything is set up. Once your FaceTime is enabled and set up, now is the fun part. We're going to FaceTime together, this time from the app. I'm going to show you multiple ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you through the actual app. All right, it's that pop quiz time again. No, just kidding. We're going to find our FaceTime app. So again, multiple ways of getting there. So you can literally swipe through your home screen to find it, or you can do that trick we talked about in the beginning where you take your finger in the middle of your screen and swipe down until the spotlight search comes up. This video kind of shows you really quickly what that looks like. In that bar, you're going to type in or start to type in FaceTime, and you're going to select the one that has this icon. So this green camera, if you will. This is the FaceTime app. This is what we're going to be starting in and working through. Okay, so everybody should have gone to their FaceTime app, the little green video, if you will, opened it. Everybody's is going to look a little bit different right now, but you're going to excuse me, tap on the green FaceTime icon to start a new FaceTime, if you will. You're going to then enter in who you want to contact. So as you can see really quickly, same as the search bar, you can start to type somebody's name in. You might notice a list of people you've contacted previously. That's kind of like a quick call you back kind of situation, if you will. But you're going to find whoever it is you want to talk to today. For my example, I just selected myself. You're not able to talk to yourself, if you will, so it won't actually go through. But maybe you have a person next to you that you want to exchange information with, that you can get their info and you can practice. Or if you have a handy dandy best friend or whoever you can call and practice with would be great. So once you enter their name in, you're going to hit enter. You'll show up at the top. I think I have an example on the next slide since I know I'm very visual. So this is the difference again between the iOS systems. So this on the left is the newest, the iOS 26, and then on the right is the iOS 18. So you can see here the green FaceTime button is here, whereas on the newer one, it's at the bottom. However, still green, still has that little icon, just in different locations. On the older iOS, this is what I had mentioned previously of previously contacted people that you may have FaceTime before, so this year. However, on the new iOS, when you click on that, it'll then open this menu so you can see missed calls, which on the old iOS shows up as red. You can see if someone left you a voicemail, whatever it may be. You have a lot more options. Similar to the screen, instead of having names listed horizontal of previous called contacts, you'll actually notice cards. So these big cards are those same things, just kind of a different layout. Now, something I forgot to mention when you're doing a new FaceTime and you start entering the person's name, again, your phone's very smart. It wants to predict who you're trying to talk to. You'll notice that either their name will be blue or they will be green. Blue means that they're another iPhone user. Green, however, means that they're an Android user and it probably won't work. Again, FaceTime is an Apple dedicated app, if you will. So that's kind of a quick and easy way to see, like, ooh, do they have an Android or do they have an iPhone? So that's kind of a rough summary of how to use the actual FaceTime app. Now we're getting into the fun part. This is how I usually do FaceTime. I find it's the easier, quickest way. And this is from a contact card. So you might remember from a previous lesson where we talked about contacts. Contacts is its own app, or you can use your phone app to get there as well. But we basically want to be able to get to this screen where we see our contacts information, their email, their phone number, and you'll see a bunch of different buttons on the top, which I'll talk about in this next shot that I have that's a still, which I feel like is a little bit easier to see. Okay, so this is an example of a contact card. So again, you can get there by going to your phone app, your contacts app, wherever you need to go to get there. But as you can see on this bottom toolbar, I'm in contacts, and you'll notice whoever you select as your contact, you want to see what their info is. I selected myself, so you'll see their photo up here, their name. You'll see a bunch of different icons here, their phone number. There's actually a section here that says FaceTime. And so if you want to do the video chat, you're going to select the video camera. You can also do call only, meaning the camera will not be on, but you'll be calling through the FaceTime Wi-Fi connection, if you will. But again, your phone likes to use the same icons for everything. So the same video icon that's here in that FaceTime section is also actually up here as well. So I pointed this out. So camera, camera. When you click on this one at the top, you might have a pop-up, especially if they have multiple ways of contacting them through FaceTime. So remember those choices we set up in the settings when we started? This is where they show up. So I have a bunch of mine set up. As you can see, I did blur out for safety some of my information. But I have my email addresses here, so you'll select whichever one you actually want to contact them through. It doesn't really matter too much, it's still getting to the same person. So you'll select that and your FaceTime will actually start. This is kind of a bonus slide, if you will, but since we like to text a lot nowadays, this is actually in our Messenger app. And so I went into a text to myself, if you will, and I wanted to point out, maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, but at the very top on the top right, do you recognize that same icon? That's right, it's our FaceTime icon. So when you select that, it'll pop down this menu, which shows you can do FaceTime audio, so just the little phone icon, or the FaceTime video. So camera, camera. They're everywhere, I swear. And again, this is in our message app. So when we're texting back to our friends, we usually are typing this message box, writing them back and forth. Maybe you don't want to just send them a message. Maybe you are shopping and you're like, oh my God, this is so cute. I need to show them. Maybe that's when you select that camera button. You're like, I'm going to FaceTime them so they can experience this with me and help me pick something out. Yeah. So now that you know there are multiple ways to FaceTime someone through the app, through the contacts, through the Messenger app, pretty much anywhere you see that video camera, that's how you can contact them. So now I'm going to dive a little bit more into what happens once you actually connect with them and you see all these other options now. What fun things you can do. So once you connect to that FaceTime call, again, your screen's going to look a little different depending on what operating system you have. The ones on the left are again your iOS 26, and the one on the right is our iOS 18. So you can instantly tell which one you have by the layout it has. So my screen, or where you see my face in the middle, this is the iOS 26. When you call someone, their photo, or your photo, excuse me, will actually be down here. So you can see that here barely, and you can see it over here on the iOS 18. This is going to be your own like mirror reflection, so you can see like, oh, am I in frame? What's happening here? And then on this big screen, it's black right now, but this will be your friend, theoretically, or whoever you're calling. You'll see them nice and big. You'll see these icons on the bottom right-hand side for iOS 26, whereas iOS 18, they're all at the top. I swear you have all the same options, they're just kind of in different places. So on iOS 26, underneath the microphone button, you'll notice these three little dots. When you click on them, it'll then expand out this menu where you can see live captions, screen sharing, share play, etc. However, on iOS 18, you'll notice that your settings might be kind of scattered throughout, so you'll have extra settings down here. You kind of have to look for them depending, who knows, maybe the Apple will do another update between when I record this and when you watch. We're going to go over what all these little icons mean just so you know, or maybe you just press them and see what happens. That's what I do. So to show you an example of what this looks like on the new iOS, you go to the click new chat, enter their name in, they'll pop up all in the big screen. We're down here in this little screen. You'll notice these icons over here on the right, same buttons, different places, and we start to explain what these different buttons are. So I'm going to get into them as we go to symbols one by one in the next screen, but this will be in your workbook as well, just so you guys know. So I'll put my face here, right here. Sorry, Deb. But getting your FaceTime call icons. So you might notice while you're chatting, at first the menu that I showed is on there, but maybe it disappears. If it ends up disappearing, you can just tap on the screen anywhere on the screen. Look a little bit different depending on your iOS. But what we really want to focus on are all these icons on the left. So I think this is very similar throughout most of the apps. They try to keep it the same. But the speaker, this will allow you to go to speaker mode or switch to a Bluetooth device, whatever it might be. So you can either hear them in your ear or you can just be talking out loud. Up to you, dealer's choice. Next is going to be the microphone with a slash through it. So this can be when you want to mute yourself or unmute yourself. Maybe you are in a very loud environment, a fire truck is going by, you're like, oh, let me mute that and save my friend's ears. Next is going to be the camera with the slash on it. So this will turn off your camera and the other person will still be able to hear you, but they just won't see you. So it's almost like you pressed pause on that video camera. So maybe this is great when you're like, maybe you have to do something unsavory, like blow your nose or something like that. You're like, okay, my friend really doesn't want to see that. Let me just quickly turn off my camera. If it's loud, maybe you also want to turn off your microphone temporarily. Just make sure that you turn it back on if you want to continue that conversation. The last option, or excuse me, one of the other options we have is share my screen. So this will look like a square with a little guy next to it. This will allow the other person, the friend you're chatting with, to be able to see what's physically on your screen and what you're doing on it. So maybe you wanted to show them this cool app that you learned or a website. You can share your screen with them and they'll be able to see what you see. Now, this one I feel like is self-explanatory is the big red X. So this is going to end your call, hangs up your video. I feel like it's the same kind of situation when we're making phone calls. Red X, we're done, disconnects, it's over. Some more icons that we have are some of the fun, fancier ones, if we will. So you might notice this really light, fancy F. This stands for your f-stop, but basically in camera terms, this means that it's going to blur out your background in the video. So maybe it's not a great background, maybe it's busy, you want to be fancy. You're going to play around with that by clicking that fancy F, we'll call it. Now, this can change depending on whether your picture is big or small, but these two arrows diagonal facing each other is going to minimize. If they're facing out, it's going to maximize your picture. You can again play around with these things while you're FaceTiming your friend, practicing with the neighbor next to you. This next one, I will say, when it came out was very fun to play with. So it's our effects, which kind of looks like a star, if you will. You can add filters, you can add stickers to your FaceTime call. If you've ever seen, I think they're called animojis, where you can actually turn into an animal and it'll look like the animal's talking just like it's you. So they have like pandas, horse, I think a unicorn. You can literally spend so much time just playing around with these features, but it's a fun way to engage with your friend. I think we all got really bored during COVID, so played around with a lot of those features. Camera flip, this is very similar to when we learned photos and the photo app. So it looks like a camera with spinning arrows in the middle. So this just means it's going to flip your camera from either the front facing camera or the back facing camera. So maybe you want to show your friend your face, you have a front facing camera on, but then you're like, oh my God, look at that cute baby kitten or something that's like over there in the distance. You can press this button and really quickly flip that screen, or excuse me, flip that camera so the back camera is now live and they get to see this cute little kitten with you. And you can flip back and forth so it's kind of like kitten you, kitten you. Okay, I think this is the last icon to discuss, but it's our picture button. So this is going to look like a white circle somewhere on your screen. And what this will do is it'll take a screenshot of whatever's on the screen. So maybe your friend or maybe your cute little niece or nephew are on the screen and you're like, oh my God, their smile is adorable. I need to capture this moment. You're going to press this button. It's going to snap a photo. That photo will go into your actual photo app or album, if you will. And you just froze time, if you will, from a live video. Okay, I know that was a lot of information again to throw at you guys. So normally we have time for questions as I'm going through, but because this is digital, this is recorded, we don't have that quite yet, but I would love to open this up to you because maybe when I was recording this, I forgot to mention something. Maybe we got stuck somewhere. Maybe we got lost somewhere. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll tell you exactly how to do that so that way, whatever question you submit to me, everybody else can learn from it. And who knows, maybe I'll do a special video just for that because maybe I messed up and I missed a whole big section. Because this is also the last class, I normally like to do a little review if I have time, but I wanted to open this up to maybe video requests just in general. Is there a topic you want me to dive more into, recover? Um, I know this is part 2 of the whole series, the 6-week series. I did another 6-week series before, so maybe there is a topic you want me to actually start to record. Maybe you like this format. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you. So, and I will tell you how. So, I am planning to upload this to YouTube. So, whether you are watching this from a desktop, a mobile device, there's this handy dandy section called comments where you can literally leave me a message, a question, feedback, whatever it may be, so that way I can see, I can respond back to you. And who knows, maybe if it's a video request, I end up recording a video for you. So these are the instructions that again will be in your workbook. You can read along and follow along. I'm very visual, so of course I made a visual. So this is from your mobile device, whether that's your iPhone, your iPad. It's very similar to desktop as well, but wherever you are, you're going to scroll until you find the comments section. Once you get there, you're going to select the text box, if you will, and you're going to type whatever that is. I ended up typing test. Once you write everything you want to send to me, you're going to click this little paper airplane, if you will, so it'll submit it to me. I will then look at everything you've got going on, respond back, which is appropriate. Might have to give me some time with the upcoming holidays, but I'd love to get back to you guys and just appreciate you. So whether you're at home or in person, I want you to give yourself a round of applause because we covered a lot in 6 weeks, and not only just in 6 weeks, but just this video and bearing with me for the first time doing it this way. I know we covered a lot, and hopefully you found it enjoyable. You got something out of it. You have your workbooks, which gives you the step-by-step as well too. So hopefully that's helpful. And again, if you like more specialized one-on-one attention, I do offer the one-on-one the one-on-one lessons. I will have more information in your workbook, but I'm going to be offering them virtually and in person, and I'd love to support you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.